Hiya, folks. This is Rick Emmett of Triumph.
This is Mark Merrill, also known as Johnny B. Bad.
Hi, this is a best-selling author. I threw the best-selling in there. Best-selling author Dick Wybrow.
I'm Melanie from Second Shooter.
This is Jeff with Second Shooter.
Hey everybody, it's Brian Allen from Bridges Ablaze.
Hey, this is Sammy Lee, drummer of the band Red Rain.
Yo guys, it's Mark McKay.
Hey, this is Frank Fletcher.
Hola amigos, this is Billy Sheehan.
Hey guys, this is John Karabi.
Hi, this is Jim Valance.
What's up everybody, it's Logan from All the Pretty Things.
Hey guys, it's Leva Leone.
This is Nothing from Inside the Trojan Horse.
What's up guys, Cassandra Carson here from Paralandra and the Life Project.
My name's Reggie and you are listening to the Weekly Pour podcast. Thanks so much for joining the most amazing twosome out there.
The most amazing things that can happen to a human being will happen to you if you lower your expectations. Welcome to the Weekly Pour podcast. Here are your hosts, TBT and Ace.
That is us. We are us. What the... Why we got Airwolf flying?
Well, she knocked over the Enterprise, and then Airwolf was sitting right next to it.
Oh, and she being Kathy, for those that are not knowing what the heck's going on. Yeah. I'm TBT. That guy over there is Ace. This is episode 137 of the Weekly Pour podcast. Welcome in to everybody that's in the chat already. If you're watching and you haven't said hi, just jump in and say hi. You don't have to talk. Let's see. Mama TBT's in. Kathy, of course, is in the chat. Nat McTook is there. And there's some others that are watching and they just haven't said anything. Be sure to hit that thumbs up and smash that subscribe button. Don't worry, it won't send you anything other than a notification that we're getting ready to go live or we've posted a video from a concert or whatever. I will tell you that we are up to our own little shenanigans and nobody can tell us what we can do and what we can't do because we do not have a moderator named Natalie tonight.
Is she doing baseball mom stuff, maybe?
No, she is actually out of town. She had to travel out of state to a medical facility for a family member. So, of course, our well wishes for that family member, and we should have her back next week. But yeah, she leaves us totally. I mean, just nobody's doing anything.
But you didn't approve this.
Oh, it was approved. Yeah, I approved it. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, we're unsupervised. I mean, of course I'm going to approve that.
Right. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah, we can do whatever we want. We can talk about whatever we want. Even though Kathy's there, we could talk about wrestling the entire 60 minutes if we wanted to.
We could, yes.
We won't. We won't.
But we could.
Yeah. We may give you about 10 minutes tonight, but you'll have to understand why once we get there to it. I told you right before we went on air that it feels like we haven't done this in like a month. And you proceeded to remind me it's been 7 days.
Well, moving that from Tuesday to Wednesday makes the difference.
Yes.
For that little bit of time that we're doing this, although I have 3 grandchildren, this is why we're doing it. I have a feeling they're all going to be involved in crap, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll be doing live remotes from T-ball. That's what we'll be doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Live remotes from Biddy Ball.
Is that what it's called? Biddy Ball?
They used to call basketball Biddy Ball, didn't they?
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, when you were little. Yeah, Biddy Ball.
Yeah, Biddy Ball.
Yeah, not Biddy.
What? No. Please, never do that again.
Biddy.
Oh, geez. And that's our show for this week. We'll be back next week. So is this T-ball? Is this
yeah.
Oh. No overhand?
You get 2 coach pitch from a close distance. And if you swing and miss, they put it on the tee and then you crush it.
Okay. What's the age group for this?
I think it's like 4 to 6, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Or 4 and 5, something like that.
Right. Is there a height requirement?
No, because if there was, there's some children that wouldn't be playing.
Nice.
Because
anybody rushed the pitcher?
No, they all chase the ball and attack it.
Oh, I want to see some 7-year-olds go out and start rushing the pitcher, rush the
No,
mound, take him down.
that would be tackling the coach who is pitching,
Right.
you know, who's 3 times your size and you're a child.
You ever got attacked by a small person?
No.
Okay.
Well, there was that one time. Well, never mind.
Well, yeah, I didn't think you were going to bring that one up. What a week.
Yeah.
It has been close to 90 degrees the last 2 days.
I've been in my pool twice.
I have not, because I am currently battling the get the pool ready thing.
It's been ready for a month.
Wow, mine has not. And I'll talk to you about this off air because maybe you'll have some suggestions, but I have tried almost everything. But yeah, we'll do that later because that would absolutely bore everybody that's in here. Oh, look, Mrs. TBT finally decides to show up. She's literally in another room and just ignores what's going on until she, I guess, hears and says, "Oh, okay." So yeah, tomorrow rain in the forecast, high of 78 degrees. So we're back to winter.
Winter. I was enjoying the not having rain.
Agreed.
Because we've had so much.
Yes.
But I know we need it. My grass is already dry.
Good.
Out there.
That means I don't have to mow it.
Pretty soon we're getting to that weather. And that's good because I don't have a riding mower right now. It's not working.
Right.
So I'm having to push everything. And, that's a lot for this old man to have to push this whole yard.
Yeah.
But I do it. I
got
do it.
Like 7, 8, 9 acres to have to push with the push mower.
Exactly. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
And so I have to do it in break. I take breaks and do it in spurts. And I've got a friend.
Is it spurt?
Yes. I got a friend. I mow his lawn because he bought a house 4 years ago and never moved into it. And it's just sitting there. So his plan was to retire and move back to Bedford and live in this house.
Make him mow it.
He's not even close to here.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah. So I was nice. I said, "Hey, I'll help you out. I'll mow your lawn, while you're getting your retirement paperwork together." 4 years later, I'm still mowing this lawn.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Still mowing it.
Just been a few years.
Yeah, but I'm a nice guy, so
good. I hope everybody's doing well in the chat.
Did you just say good and dismiss that? You're like,
yeah, I did because I have no sympathy for you mowing somebody's yard for 4 straight years and not telling him to hire somebody other than you.
He ain't hiring me. I'm doing it for free.
Oh, yeah. You're a nicer friend than I am because with gas prices the way they are, whew.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he will reimburse me for gas. And he rewards me at Christmas time with a nice gift. So it's all right.
It's good when you get your stocking stuffed. That's good. That's awesome. That's great. Yeah, it's been a very slow week in the news for this week, but I mean that's okay. We still were able to come up with a whole bunch of stuff. Some of the stuff is very criminal. In essence,
yes, there's a lot of criminality going on.
Yeah, a trend of criminality. I like that word. A trend of criminality that's going all over the place. One of the things is from like 1988. What was the date? Was it December 9th, 1988? I don't remember.
You're talking about the first movie was 85.
Is that what they went back to? 1985?
Right.
Wow. I was close.
Pretty sure.
Yeah. Obviously, we're talking about Back to the Future. And there's been some criminal activity. I don't think it's been criminal activity. I think it's a lack of attention to detail, as in like, oh, we don't know what we did with it.
Right.
So since we've already started on this, apparently the cherry red Gibson ES-345 guitar that was used by Michael J. Fox in the 1985 film Back to the Future has gone missing. And Gibson, the company, has launched a global search to uncover the instrument. In an article, according to Loudwire, the guitar played a key role in the development of rock and roll as Marty McFly, which was Michael J. Fox's character, went back in time to deliver a face-melting guitar solo at the Enchantment Under the Sea high school dance. So everybody remembers that actually happens to be one of Mrs. TBT's favorite movies. So now Gibson has ended up having to launch a campaign to recover the instrument after however many years because they have lost it.
This is a filmmaker's returned with a pair of sequels in '89. We know that.
Right.
They were no longer able to locate the instrument, and it was reportedly never found. So this has been missing that long?
Yeah.
Like, this didn't happen last week.
No.
This was over 30 years ago.
It is just now making the news because somebody said, oh, crap, maybe we should get this out there.
Let me ask a question. Why were they donating a real rare guitar? Why wasn't that like a prop of some sort, like just a movie prop?
I don't know.
Did Michael J. Fox want authenticity when Marty McFly played the blistering solo at the school dance or whatever?
They checked his closet?
No kidding.
Because that's the first place I'd go.
And actors a lot of times might do that. Well, not a lot of times, but you might take something from the set.
Most of the time.
There's Sarah Michelle Gellar on Buffy the Vampire Slayer would take a lot of the clothes because they fit you with those clothes. They don't fit anyone else. They're your clothes.
Yeah.
That's just an example.
I'm going to see if I want to try to pop this up here because I don't want anybody to think we're not speaking truthage of this.
I wonder what the value is of that guitar.
Who knows? Well, I think it would depend. If you're a collector of Gibsons, which a lot of people are, could be priceless. If you're a collector of movie memorabilia, especially for such an iconic movie, could be priceless.
So something like that, if it's in an auction, it would be a big auction, probably.
Yeah.
So you would know
if it was in an auction, somebody would surely speak up. I'm going to read this for those that can't see it. Global search launched. Fans asked to help. Gibson is launching a global search for the world-renowned cherry red Gibson guitar that Michael J. Fox performed within the smash hit 80s film Back to the Future. Blah, 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 everything I already said. During the making of the sequel to the film, filmmakers went to look for the guitar, and it was nowhere to be found. Cinema's most influential guitar hasn't been seen in 40 years. 40 years.
I'm blown away.
Yeah. Would they think it was just, it's over in the warehouse B?
Right.
Underneath the clock tower and Doc Emmett's stuffed dog.
There's got to be a key grip somewhere that has this, or a best boy. I always like that title, the best boy, that has this somewhere in his closet, because it's a rare guitar even at that point in time when they filmed the movie.
Right.
It was already 30 years old.
Yeah. 40 years later, though, we need to look for it.
When did someone say, hey, remember that guitar we loaned to 20th Century Fox or whoever? Remember that?
Exactly.
And yeah, I remember that. It was a cool guitar. Where is it? I don't know. Thought you knew.
No, I thought Jim had it.
Surely it will turn up. So maybe someone has it held for ransom.
What,
And they've
for
been
40
waiting.
years?
They've been waiting for the right time.
They've been waiting for a dehydrated pizza from Domino's before they say, "Oh, got it."
You know, because even if Michael J. Fox wanted to play guitar for real in the movie, and maybe he did here. It seems like that's what he's talking about later on in the article, and his love of guitar. Why give him that one?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you could replicate that guitar.
Sure.
I'm baffled. I mean, that's a genuine Gibson ES 345 guitar.
Yeah. And
For
Homeboy started searching for it back in 2009.
Wow, and he finally has given up and says, "I need help."
Yeah. And Michael
Maybe.
J. Fox plays guitar.
Okay, so he wanted to play guitar. He wanted to be authentic, and who conned them? Who conned them into giving them this authentic Gibson guitar?
I don't know.
Maybe if they hopped in a DeLorean.
Yeah, why don't they just go back in time and get it and save us all this daggone headache and people having to report about it and a missing guitar on a podcast? Just hop in your DeLorean, 1.21 gigawatts.
What was the speed? 88.5 or something?
88 miles an hour.
Something like that. Yeah, 88 miles an hour.
Great Scott. Yeah.
It's a great movie. It's a great movie, by the way.
I liked all three of them.
You know what? I never have watched, and I have heard good things about the sequels.
I'm going to assume that you said you've never watched the third one?
The second or third one.
You've not watched either one of them?
No, I haven't.
Shut your crap off right now and go watch them.
I've always heard good things about them. Like they're beloved movies, but a lot of times when sequels come out, they aren't as good as the original. So I think that's what I was thinking, and I thought they were just milking the source material a bit too much.
It's been almost 40 years since part 2 came out.
I've ignored them that long. I mean, what else is there to go back in time to do?
Not spoiling it for you, but there's plenty.
I think I wanted to get around to it a few years ago, and then I forgot.
Great Scott.
To get around to it. So maybe I need to take some time and watch the other two films. I've always heard good things.
Yeah.
So,
I'm baffled.
I mean,
absolutely baffled.
Well,
I'm almost angry that you haven't watched those two.
What was out at the same time? There was probably a better movie out.
No, probably not.
Also, in my defense, being as young as I was back then, I didn't have a lot of money or transportation to go to movies.
Okay, but what about the last 30 years of being able to watch it on Betamax, VHS, Laserdisc, CD, DVD, or streaming?
I had other movies to catch up on, and just things got in the way. Just
whatever.
Things got in the way.
I'm tired of your excuses. Well, guess what?
What?
The guitar from Back to the Future is not the only guitar that's missing.
No, it's not.
This was recently thrown out from Blabbermouth. We found out that legendary rockers Heart have announced that 2 irreplaceable instruments were stolen from the band prior to the launch of the group's Spring-Summer 2025 and Evening with Heart tour. They had set up at the Hard Rock Casino and Hotel in Atlantic City on May 30th, and the day before the show on the Trek, only to discover that 2 of the instruments, one belonging to Nancy Wilson and the other one to Paul Moak, went missing. One of them is a custom-built, one-of-a-kind purple sparkle baritone Telecaster with a hand-painted headstock, which was made for Wilson, and a vintage.
Ready for this?
Yeah, exactly. 1966 Gibson EM50 mandolin, which Moke has played for over 25 years. Of course, a reward has been offered for any information leading to the return, and anyone with knowledge of the theft or whereabouts of the instruments is urged to come forward. They go on to say that these instruments are more than just tools of our trade, they're extensions of our musical souls, blah, blah, blah. One's been missing for 40 years. It went back to the future. And now we got this, one of which is a Gibson.
Right. And what I've heard is that Gibson was contacted about helping search for this mandolin, but they're too busy with their worldwide search, and all the resources are poured into that to get this other guitar
that's been
Michael
going for
J.
40
Fox
years
played, and it's just too much for them right now. So Hart has to take this on themselves, to get this mandolin back. And so who broke into the tour bus?
No, the way I'm understanding this is they had everything set up. The show was set up the day before, and then it was like, oh wait, where'd they go?
Right. So okay, you're at the Hard Rock, right? That's what they said, the Hard Rock?
Yeah, the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City.
I'm sure they've questioned. Surely somebody has questioned all the people that work there, come and go, whoever had access.
Has anybody questioned Michael J. Fox?
Well, no, he's Michael J. Fox.
Exactly. Not only does he have the 40-year-old missing guitar, he's also in Atlantic City for a Hart concert, only to not show up but leave with extra luggage.
Right, because he got a special tour the day before.
Exactly.
Using his celebrity status.
Yeah, so he likes guitars and mandolins. Is it a mandolin or is it a mandolin?
I would say mandolin.
Oh, see, I would say mandolin.
Well,
I guess it just depends on where you put the emphasis on whatever syllable.
That sounds like a girl.
No, that's Madeline.
I like mandolin.
I like that there mandolin. She lives down over there on Green Street. Yeah, you're right.
That's right. Yeah. Now, if you're Bruce Hornsby, you say mandolin.
Right.
Rain.
Yeah.
What is mandolin rain?
It's rain that falls as you're playing the mandolin with a mandolin.
So a rare event.
Yes, very rare.
Good, because I've never seen it.
No, me neither. Potato, as what Nat says. So it's mandolin. So, I mean, we're both right. She said it, so that's what makes sense. And she says they have to have cameras everywhere.
You would think?
Yeah. Jinx.
But it's like saying guitar and guitar.
Yeah. Or fiddle and violin.
Well, those are two different instruments.
Yeah, I know.
Because it morphs into a fiddle when you play country music.
Yes. Only if it's in Georgia.
Right. So I don't know who is stealing all this stuff. Did they say how much the reward was? No, they didn't, did they?
No. Let me look at the because there's a whatever you want to call it. Let's see. Among the missing items, blah blah blah. A reward is being offered. So no. You can contact Tony Moon, who I think is their manager, tour manager, manager. I don't know. They got pictures of it, of both the guitar and the mandolin. I mean, they're good looking guitars. But they don't say how much I mean, what, $50, I'm keeping it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You're right. That Telecaster is really cool looking.
Yeah. With a custom paint job, that purple. That's cool.
Yeah, and the thing is they play those every night.
yeah, this isn't just something that's, sitting over in the corner with the other 50 guitars trying to decide if they're going to play them for the show.
Right, right, and you can grab another one and all that stuff, but that's not the point. They carry who knows how many guitars and mandolins in case something happens, but that's in case you bust a nut or break a string or whatever. You can get another guitar.
Yes,
but these are priceless and irreplaceable.
Yeah.
What are you objecting to a phrase I used?
No, not at all. Not at all. not in the least. So yeah, hopefully they get that out, the guitar and the mandolin recovered. Hart announced the An Evening with Hart Spring Summer 2025 tour kicked off, of course, May 31st, as we already mentioned, as they got robbed in Atlantic City, and it concludes on June 28th in Hollywood, Florida. So yeah, let's hope they get it back. I don't have it. I don't have time. It's Michael J. Fox. Michael J. Fox has it, guaranteed. So I had to put my shoe on.
Well, why are you barefoot?
I wasn't. It fell off. Not my foot, the shoe.
Okay.
Yeah, no, my foot's fine. Hey, did you listen to the latest release from the original Alice Cooper band?
I did.
As we mentioned either last episode or the episode before, for the first time in over 50 years, surviving members of the original Alice Cooper band have reunited to release a brand new studio album entitled The Revenge of Alice Cooper. It's like a Star Wars movie. Anyway, whatever. It's due on July 25th. The highly anticipated album is heralded as a successor to their iconic records School's Out, $1 Billion Babies, Love It to Death, and Killer. They just recently released the second single from the album called Wild Ones, which was released yesterday. The song is out. The video is out. The song is inspired by the 1953 iconic film The Wild One, starring Marlon Brando. Yep, the track captures the same defiant spirit that once shocked middle America and defined a generation. With snarling guitars, pounding drums, and Alice's unmistakable snarl front and center, Wild Ones isn't just a song, it's a statement.
Someone was not creative in the writing, and they repeated snarling and snarl.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah. Or are they saying that Alice sounds like a guitar?
I don't know. I've been beta reading a lot for other authors, and we pick all this stuff out now.
Yeah,
so I see it all the time.
The song's not bad. I listened to it. I liked it.
I liked it. It was good.
It's classic. It's like classic Alice Cooper.
It's gritty.
Yeah, that's the word. Gritty. It's not snarly. It's gritty.
Yeah, and I liked it quite a bit too. I thought it was good, really good.
Yeah, that album is due on July 25th.
And I don't know the dynamics of how they are writing these songs, but Alice has been in the game all along,
right?
But the rest of you guys haven't per se. I don't know what they've been doing, but do you sit down with a guy that's not worked with you in how many years? Longer than the guitar's been missing from Back to the Future.
Absolutely.
Right. And I don't know if those guys kept playing instruments. I don't know if they kept writing songs or what they did, but whatever they're doing now, that worked. That's a good song. I like it.
And reuniting with Bob Ezrin, it's another classic move.
I believe Alice has been with Bob the last several records.
Right, but I'm talking to the core, as them, as that band.
Yeah. There's so you got two pros there. I mean, industry lifers that are helping you along. Because I mean, sure you're going to jump at the chance if Alice asks you to do something like this.
Oh, sure.
After so many years, right? but you got to be a little nervous, like, oh my, I don't know. I haven't picked up a guitar in a long time, or
in
I haven't written a
40
song.
years.
Right. And I'm sure they probably kept up some of their musical skills, but not to the level they were when they were at their height of their popularity.
Well, if the 2 release tracks are any indication, the rest of the album is going to be phenomenal. 16 tracks. Interesting names on some of these, very Alice Cooperish. The Revenge of Alice Cooper track listing includes, I'm going to run through all 16. Track 1 is Black Mamba. I have no idea if that's an ode to Kobe Bryant or not. Number 2 is Wild Ones. Number 3, Up All Night. It is not a Slaughter remake. Kill the Flies, One Night Stand, Blood on the Sun. This is my favorite track of the record. Crap That Gets in the Way of Your Dreams. The 8th track is Famous Face, followed by Money Screams, What a Sid. The second favorite track, Intergalactic Vagabond Blues. What Happened to You? I Ain't Done Wrong, which I believe is a rap song. See You on the Other Side, not an Aerosmith remake. Return of the Spiders 2025 is a bonus track, as is track 16 entitled Titanic Over Underture. So 16 tracks released July 25th. One thing about the release, I'm going to find this because I thought that was very interesting. It's going to be released on July 25th in a wide variety of formats and limited vinyl colors. It will also be available as a limited box set and as a limited art print featuring exclusive access to 2 bonus tracks from the start, plus the full album automatically delivered as a high-definition download on release day. So I'm sure you can go in and do the pre-sale or pre-market, whatever you want to do. The Revenge of Alice Cooper.
So this says in the article that by 1974 they were at their peak and then dissolved, right? And then got back together in 2015 for a one-off. I remember this. It was a pretty big deal. Yeah. And even at that point, after 2015, they hadn't done a whole lot with Alice. So, man, amazing that he wants to do this and is bringing these guys along. I think that's kind of cool because you're spreading some of the wealth, and you're giving back to these guys that were there with you in the beginning. I mean, I don't know if they've blown through all their money, but money was different back then. Money in the 70s as to what you could make later on. And, maybe Alice is trying to reunite and have some fun with his old bandmates and then maybe give him a payday. Nothing wrong with that.
No, and there's plenty of other bands out there that could actually take a lesson from this. Skid Row, Kiss.
Right. Sure. Definitely a band like Kiss could bring other guys in and do something.
Yeah.
I mean, they do, or they have in the past, but
right.
But not on the farewell tour.
No. Why?
No.
Why would we bring back anybody for the farewell tour? The 4th one.
Even though everyone wanted it. Everyone.
Yeah. Everyone except for Gene, probably.
Well, from what I hear, he's the one that doesn't have all the... Well, never mind.
I know. That's a whole nother tangent.
It is. But also coming out Friday is the Triumph tribute record. So it'll be out Friday.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. And we've heard 3 tracks from it. We all liked those 3 tracks. So the rest of it should be pretty good.
I'm sure it will be. Speaking of Triumph, and not even related whatsoever, as we mentioned last week, Foreigner announced that Kelly Hansen would be stepping down as the vocalist for the band, being replaced by Mr. Maldonado. Well, now, if you don't know, during this tour that they've been doing, Lou Graham's been showing up every so often and being like a guest singer. And apparently he has enjoyed it so much that he's like, I would love to continue touring as a guest singer.
Yeah.
Well, could you imagine being the vocalist, being replaced by Kelly Hansen? Kelly Hansen leaves, but even while Kelly Hansen's there, you're showing up doing shows here and there for some
Here and there.
performances. And then, Louis Maldonado is going to be the new guy. You know what? Won't you come on back and do a few more? I would be honored, and I would think it would be pretty cool at 70 whatever years old, still getting a crowd rocking, and to go play with my old band.
I don't know that Louis, is it Maldonado you said? I don't know that he would have a problem with it at all. I don't know him, but he's not got the same dynamic in that band that Kelly did.
Right.
And you got to remember this: Mick Jones is not around.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always been issues the last handful of years, between Lou and Mick and songwriting credits and all, just all kinds of stuff that you get in band dynamics. But now, hell, Lou looks at this like a whole new lease on Foreigner, on a life with,
right.
This is all like a new band to him, because it is.
Yeah, it really is. And he even says it. He says that he's enjoying it immensely, and that he's also doing it to honor Mick, because Mick's not feeling well enough to do it. So he's out there waving the original Foreigner flag.
Right, and that's a good thing too, and a good point, because it at least puts an original member at the center point of that band when he shows up.
Right.
Because for a while there, when Mick was backing off and not being there, there's no original members, and then that became what everyone talked about. It's a tribute band. It's not really Foreigner, that kind of thing. And that stinks though for those guys that are out there touring under the banner of Foreigner, trying to entertain and make the best show they can, and they're being dismissed. By certain people, they're being dismissed because they don't have an original member. We're just guys out here playing Foreigner songs,
Right.
So it's a bit unfair. Maybe I've said it before. I've kind of discussed it, but when I think about it, it might be just a little bit unfair to those guys.
Yeah. Lou Graham was asked about the possibility of actually singing several songs at every show on the upcoming tour, and he stated that he may do that. And he adds, I'm sure we're going to talk about it at some point, and the prospect is good. I don't want to tour intensely all summer, but I talked to Foreigner management, and they would like me to pop up for every other show or something like that. So could you imagine wanting to see him? He shows up at the show before you're going, and then he's not going to be there. So you're like, what the heck?
Well, yeah, that would be irritating, but the selling point too for this is huge. Breaking news.
Yeah, our hall monitor just showed up in the chat. How is it she shows up and then you freeze?
It's like she's got some sort of magic power, some
What
manipulation.
the heck?
So, but that would be a hot ticket, I think, to see.
It would.
Lou Graham, I think it'd be great.
Yeah, I would totally go. I'd love to see one show. I mean, it's kind of, we've talked about it before with different bands. I mean, we're gonna go see Firehouse again next month. It's not the original singer, obviously, because unfortunately he passed, but it's still Firehouse.
Right.
And these are bands that were hot, in our youth, our teenage years. So we're gonna see them, and for Foreigner and Lou Graham at 74 years old. I mean, yeah, this is the chance to still see what our generation deems as some of the most badass music that has ever been put out.
Right. And for anyone that doesn't think Lou Gramm can carry his load or his weight in this, you're mistaken, because he sounds amazing. Does he sound like 1976 Lou Gramm or 1978 Lou Gramm? No, but he sounds pretty damn good.
Well,
It's impressive.
Right there, the same with Sammy Hagar.
Yep. I mean, almost a freak.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost. And with Firehouse, it's hard to blame a band wanting to continue when their lead singer passes and they replace him. A whole different dynamic, whole different situation. That's my word for the night, dynamic.
Nice.
But yeah, a whole different situation. So they didn't kick anyone out of the band. They had to replace him because he passed away, unfortunately.
Right. It's like a dynamic mandolin.
What's his name? Peck? Last name Peck?
Nate Peck.
Right. And he's very good. He's young.
Yeah.
Which helps. But he's very, very good.
Yeah. And Firehouse fans and all the Peckerheads that are in the crowd are going to love seeing him up there fronting the band and not just calling it quits, because of the loss of the original singer. So, yeah. Do you like what I did there? You were thinking about it. You were like Peckerheads, and you're like, wait, we should market that. We need t-shirts.
Right. Well, we need to trademark it first.
The Weekly Pour Peckerheads. I'm making stickers and shirts this week.
Yeah, and I can't wait for your next cruise so you can sticker them all over Aruba.
I have no idea what you're talking about. So speaking of, I'm sorry, I'm getting some weird email.
This is not work.
No, it was I had a live question. Wait a minute. Okay, she just brought this question, and now I have to look something up real quick.
Someone wants to know something?
Yeah. Someone sent us an email. Okay, no. So we're talking about we're talking about Nate Peck and Firehouse, and someone said, "Isn't that the guy from the group Fun?" And I'm like, "No." And then it got me thinking for a second. Well, wait. No, I know it's not. But then I looked it up, and that's Nate Russ or Roos, however you say it. Nate Peck was American Idol, correct?
Correct. One of those, yes. American Idol or America's Got Talent or something, yes.
Yeah. American Idol.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Shoo. See, how's that for action? As soon as we start talking about something, we get a message and somebody wants to know and we answer it. So see, and it wasn't Natalie who just happens to show up out of the blue again. And she enjoyed the name Peckerheads. So I'm trademarking it.
She would.
Yeah. It's expensive to trademark. You remember TRIXTER?
I do.
What were they, like 17 when their album came out?
They were super young. They were just out of high school.
Well, they were still in high school when they recorded it, I think.
Oh, well, okay.
I don't know. Well, in
Did
a
the
new
principal
interview,
say that was okay?
What?
Did they have to skip class?
No, they recorded it during detention.
Oh, well. The acoustics are good in that room because everyone's quiet.
Right. And the teacher, knock it off. So that's how they played acoustically. In a new interview, guitarist Steve Brown, who has been performing semi-acoustic TRIXTER shows with his former, I guess, still TRIXTER bandmate PJ Farley, was asked if there are any plans for a new TRIXTER album in the not too distant future. And he responded, according to our friends over at Blabbermouth, "We've been doing the Spirit of 1989 tour. We did 56 shows last year, and this year we're probably going to do over 60. And it's been so cool to be out there with my best friend and brother, PJ. We're doing it as a trio, and I'm singing mostly all the songs. The response has been unbelievable, and we're having so much fun doing it. And to what you were asking about new music, yes. and I've been posting little snippets of stuff, and has about 15 songs worked up that he's really, really excited about. He adds, I think when we get around to making the record, it's going to blow people away. I can honestly say because I know I'm excited about it. So I know when I'm excited about it, by the time you hear it and all the fans around the world, they're going to be blown away. Every band says that.
Yeah.
This new stuff is just, you're going to be blown away. I liked TRIXTER when they came out, but I only remember one album.
The first one.
Correct.
Right, because they came out when the gate crashed. The grunge gate closed down and everything. They were part of that tail end of the Hollywood scene, and so no, their momentum got stifled very quickly.
Right.
They did open for Kiss on the Revenge tour, I believe.
I believe so.
Yeah, because I saw them on that tour. And whether you like them or not, it's still good that they're out touring, putting out new music, and if it's good music in the spirit of what they've always done, I think that's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. Steve Brown's been busy anyway. He worked on the Ace Frehley record last year, right?
Right.
And wrote a bunch of songs with Ace Frehley. And what did they say about that record? What did Steve Brown say about that record?
It'll blow you away.
It'll blow you away. It was the greatest thing ever, right?
Yeah.
So apparently he likes to hype things up a bit, but and we talked about Firehouse just a second ago. They were talking about putting out new music. They put out a new song.
I've still yet to pay for.
Right, I haven't heard it yet, but they're talking about putting out a new album.
Right.
So it seems like a lot of people are still wanting to do stuff besides just go out and tour.
Yeah. Exactly. If they can do it, great.
Sure. And if it, I think it'll be good. They'll put it out with the new guy, obviously, and we'll get to experience what he does on a record. So it'll be nice.
Yeah, it will. This is the time of the show where we tell Kathy to go make a drink, because now we got to step in the world of professional wrestling for a moment. Two stories this week that we need to touch on, and we're not talking about a recent show or anything that happened. This is some actually legit news. One of which we'll save the big one for last, but one of which, this one I thought was very, very interesting, because there's been many a times where metal bands, rock bands, will be included in WWE in some way, shape, or form. We've had Motorhead, who performed for Triple H, doing a theme song. We've got the superstar Edge, who, hello, Kathy, and I'm glad she got her drink. Edge, who was using Alter Bridge as an entrance theme. So,
right.
And CM Punk, who of course uses Living Color now. So you get all these bands and all that, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, cool." They like rock music and all that stuff. It's very rare that a female superstar is highlighted as a metal fan, but that's what we just got in Chilean WWE superstar Stephanie Vaquer.
Vaquer.
I always say it wrong, even in my head.
Vaquer. I like her gimmick with the goat horns on her head, or whatever they're supposed to be.
Yeah, it's they say devil horns crown, but it's really, she's coming out as the character Lilith. But anyway, she is a huge metal fan and has been a lifelong metalhead, which I think is pretty cool. And she was recently asked what her favorite metal band was. She's young. She's got to be in her early to mid 20s.
Right.
And when she was asked her favorite band, she immediately responded Iron Maiden. I almost said Van Halen. Iron Maiden.
That's fascinating, but also maybe not as unexpected as you think, because
Right.
internationally, Iron Maiden is huge, huge. They're big
Absolutely.
here, but especially Europe. I don't know about South America, but especially in Europe, they're enormous. But that's pretty cool that living and growing up in Chile, that she likes Iron Maiden. That's pretty cool.
Nicely done.
I always say Chile, but it's Chile.
Good
right?
job. Not only that, but her favorite Iron Maiden song, Wasted Years.
Wasted Years.
Which is a great song. And she could have picked, tons of others, but what a great song.
It's iconic.
It is, absolutely. She posts a lot on the world of Instagram, and it is not uncommon to see her wearing different band T-shirts, much like what we do. I've seen her in Cannibal Corpse, Megadeth, Misfits, Motorhead, just a little bit of everything. So I thought it was pretty cool, and wanted to mention it since we kind of talk about rock stuff.
Did you see her match at Battleground with Jordan Grace?
I did not.
Oh, it's good. It's a barn burner.
So
I'm
you're
a big
saying I
Jordan
should
Grace
go
fan.
watch it?
You should.
I will watch
I'm a
that
big,
when you watch Back to the Future 2 and 3.
I'll get there.
Yeah, I'll get there.
But Stephanie's a super popular too.
Absolutely.
Super popular in NXT, and she's the current women's champion.
Right.
And crosses over on the main roster a lot. So she's a busy girl. But yeah, go watch that match with Jordan Grace. It's great.
Yeah, it is. In other news, as we round out this week's episode, the WWE was getting some heat.
Oh man, I didn't expect this.
I have a theory.
Okay.
So if you don't pay attention to the world of professional wrestling, it much like NBA, any other sport, NFL, stuff like that, people their contract will run out and they will be either re-signed or not signed or, released, whatever, so they can go play for another team or whatever. In a shocking turn of events just this past week, Ron Killings, what?
Apparently shocking.
Apparently, Ron Killings, better known as R-Truth in the WWE, after 16 years of being a WWE superstar, his contract will not be renewed when it runs out, I think, later this month, I believe. That news and that announcement sent shockwaves through the fan base of the WWE, because a lot of people are saying that if someone like R-Truth can be released, nobody is safe. R-Truth is what, 53?
That's my point that I haven't made yet. I thought they were just releasing him because he's getting older. They're not using him as much. People sit around catering at WWE events all the time with nothing to do. And, eventually you get released because we got nothing for you. But I wasn't surprised. I was a little sad because he's very good and he's hilarious. He's a very funny guy. But I wasn't surprised. I'm like, okay, cutting the fat.
Well, I'll tell you why I was surprised. I was surprised because of his recent as like 3 weeks ago, his involvement in the current storylines.
With Cena?
Yes. And he comes out to Cena's music dressed as Ron Cena. Hilarious. R-Truth is one of those guys that tries to get characters to break.
My favorite part was he would talk about in his promos that John Cena was his childhood hero.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure he's older than John Cena.
Right. He's older than John Cena, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
And the match was good. Like, he can still go. It's not that he can't wrestle.
No.
at all. And if you need he's the type of guy that if you need someone to fill in real quick, call him. He's right over there in catering,
Well,
next to
Homeboy
the
is,
leprechaun.
yeah, he is chiseled. I mean, he is probably in the best shape of any 52-year-old person I've ever seen.
Right,
Phenomenal
and he
shape.
always has been.
Huge fan favorite, crowd favorite, whatever. And like I said, he's been around for 16 years.
And he
And
raps his own intro music.
right. But it's not hard to write something that says, "What's up?"
And do you really understand what he's saying anyway?
Absolutely not.
Right. There's a theory. Did you have a theory as to this? Because I've heard a theory.
I do have a theory. It may be the same one that you've heard.
Well, the one I heard was, and it was on a different podcast, a wrestling exclusive podcast, from guys that have been in the business.
If they stole my idea, I'm going to be upset.
No, they were saying that Ron Killings, R-Truth, was one of Vince McMahon's favorite wrestlers because Vince liked the fact that R-Truth could make him laugh. He likes guys that can make him laugh, and he got along with everyone, easygoing, and this is a Triple H move. Where if you're close to Vince, Vince liked you, kind of like what they do with Austin Theory.
Yeah, I don't buy
it. I don't either. I think it's a bit of a stretch to think that Triple H would care that you hung around the guy that ran the business, ran the company for what, 40 years.
Exactly.
If you want to hang around, you're probably going to talk to the boss a little bit, right?
Once or twice.
Right. So I think that's a bit of a stretch. But these are guys that have been around the business and seem to know things. So maybe we're wrong.
Yeah.
What's your theory?
My theory, and I really kind of hope I'm right because I don't want to see him released. But if we relate this to the storyline, John Cena states that he is going to ruin wrestling. What is one of the best things to do? And that is to get rid of a fan favorite, someone that everybody loves. So he wrestles in a match against R-Truth. R-Truth comes out dressed as him. He holds up the t-shirt that says "The last time is now," Easter egg. And then all of a sudden, 2 days later, announces that he's gone. What if this is the perfect thing to do? Come out on tomorrow or Saturday or whenever the next PLE is, or on SmackDown, Raw, whatever. John Cena come out and say, "I told you what I was going to do. The first thing I did was get rid of that, pompous ass, because that crowd will turn on him in an instant." You want heat? Take the blame for getting rid of R-Truth.
Are you saying that maybe this is storyline?
Yes.
Because that's pretty brilliant if it is.
I hope it is. I hope it is. Because I agree with you. I think that would be absolutely brilliant because that would bring the heat. That would raise the heel aspect of John Cena, on his final run before he retires and, before he turns back into a good guy and retires and everybody cheers and all that stuff. And thank you, Cena, and all that fun stuff. I think it would be a brilliant idea.
So are you saying that in August, the SummerSlam opponent for Cena will be R-Truth?
No.
And the thing is, sometimes we're too smart for our own good as fans.
True.
And when I've learned that when wrestling wants to not tell you something, they have ways of you never finding out.
Right.
Like how many times now have they told us someone is not signing, will never sign that person, and then they show up at a big event.
Yeah.
To debut and we never saw it. We never heard it because they snuck him into the country, drove him underground in a subway to a tunnel that went into the venue.
Kept him in hoods.
Yeah. There's been a few like that. If they don't want you to know, you're not going to find out.
Cost John Cena the title at SummerSlam. Why not have a run-in from R-Truth, costing
Yeah,
him the title, snaps him back into being a face or however you want to look at it. And I don't know.
Now,
That's how I would book it.
If you keep this between two people, Triple H and R-Truth, and maybe even Cena, because I'm sure Cena won't say anything. Yeah, he won't say anything.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe it's his idea.
Exactly.
Oh, so much more fun to talk about that than what I heard about, maybe him not liking or being liked by Triple H. I like your idea better. A lot more fun.
Maybe it'll be both.
Maybe it is both.
It could be. Kathy, we're done talking about wrestling. You can put your drink down now. But actually, we're done with this episode. 1 hour, just like that. Your drive is probably over, so you're probably on your ride home now finishing this, and that's okay. No joke this week. All you get is us coming back. I'm sorry I didn't work on one.
That's 3 weeks.
No, because I had one last week. I had a knock-knock joke, remember? Yeah, I had one last year. I had a good knock-knock joke. Anyway, I'm TBT. That guy's Ace. We'll be back next week on Wednesday again. Yes. Until I try to log on and do it on a Tuesday and figure out why he's not. And then he sends me the schedule and reminds me that there's baseball games. Whatever. I digress. Have a great week.